Hi everyone, my name is Bianca Nunez and I'm an employment specialist with City College of San Francisco. Today we're going to go over career services and some of the different supports we offer, including advising, employment opportunities, and labor market information. All of this information can help you in your career preparedness. So let's get into it and start with career services. So Career Services is my team, and there are 6 of us. I will be your go-to person for anything related to child development and education. And we help with resumes, cover letters, mock interviewing, job application and referrals. We do hiring events, and especially during this time, we'll have some virtual events available to you. And we also try to do employer panels where we bring professionals from the field back to City College to talk about their success and journey on their career path. During this time, if we're not doing employer panels, one thing that we recommend you can do is an informational interview. And that's when you reach out to someone in the field and have a 15 to 20-minute conversation with them about their career and any tips and advice they can give you. If you don't know anyone in the field, reach out to me and I can connect you with some teachers who would be willing to speak with you about their experience and give you some advice on your journey. Okay, so let's get into cooperative work experience. Cooperative work experience is a program that City College offers students to allow them to earn college credit for work that they're already doing. So if you look at general work experience and occupational work experience, it's the same thing. The only difference is that general work experience is for any work. So you can work in retail, you can work at Whole Foods. Let's say, you're working for someone, as long as you have a supervisor. The only thing that doesn't apply to this is Uber and Lyft and the different rideshare app jobs because you don't have a supervisor who can sign your timesheet. But anything else does apply. And then occupational work experience is related directly to the CTE program that someone's in. So each semester, work experience is offered. And if you look in the course schedule, off-campus work experience you can find under WKEX 333, and on-campus work experience you could find under WKEX 777. And there's a number of different work experience options on campus, which I'll go over in a few slides and explain more in detail. And there's also child development work experience, CDEV 114. And for CDEV 114, you're mostly going to be working in City College's child development centers at the Ocean campus and the Mission campus. So we'll talk more about that in a few slides. But I did want to let you know that you can do this for paid opportunities and unpaid opportunities. So if you have a volunteer position or an internship where you have a supervisor, you can earn college credit for that as well. And you see that 75 hours of paid work equals 1 semester credit, and 60 hours of unpaid work equals 1 semester credit. The last really great benefit of this is that units are CSU transferable as an elective, and you can earn up to 6 units total. So for those of you that are planning on getting your bachelor's degree or higher, and you're thinking of going to SF State or Cal State East Bay or Fullerton or any of the schools in the CSU system, you could take these units with you and they'll satisfy some of those elective courses. So another great point that I like to mention is that City College is free for those of you who live in San Francisco. So you can earn college credits for free for work that you're already doing. So if you can take advantage of this, please do. It's extremely beneficial for you. So let's go on to College Central Network. This is just a quick resource I want to mention. College Central Network is City College's internal job posting database, and there's over 2,000 employers on College Central Network. A bulk of them are child development and education related because, as many of you know, there is a teacher shortage in San Francisco and the state of California in general. And that applies to pre-K positions all the way through 12th grade. So all students are pre-registered for this network. You can activate your account by visiting this link, and I'll include this link in the comment section below. And you can log in using your student ID and email address. After you log in and create a password, you can upload your resume, your cover letter, any other materials you'd like to share with employers. So maybe a sample lesson plan or a letter of recommendation that you've gotten from someone that you've worked with or an instructor, anything you think will be beneficial for you in your job search. So I really recommend College Central Network. There's also a bunch of other great sites to use like Indeed and Idealist and LinkedIn, but we know that College Central Network is specifically for City College students. And when you go on there, you know employers are looking for talent from our school. So utilize this if you are looking for a job. And if you need help creating your account or logging in, reach out to me and I can support you with that. Okay, so we'll move on to certificates and permits, also credentials. I wanted to cover the three of these because they're often confused and used interchangeably, but each one has a specific requirement and applies to a particular thing. I also wanted to point out the CDEV Center's contact information below on the right. So you can email them for more information about any of these three things at cdev@ccsf.edu, or you can call them at 415-452-5605. And they're a group of advisors that can walk you through education plans, look at your transcripts, let you know what certificates and permits you qualify for. So I'll explain each one a little bit more in detail, and let's start with certificates. So certificates are issued by CCSF's Child and Family Studies Department when you complete a group of required courses that make you eligible for a particular certificate. And I wanted to start with the ECE Associate Teacher Certificate because many of you are taking these foundational courses, and these are the four foundational courses. So Child Growth and Development, Orientation to ECE Principles and Practice, Introduction to Early Childhood Curriculum, and Child, Family, and Community. So once you complete these four core courses, which total 12 units, you're eligible for the ECE Associate Teacher Certificate. And this certificate will allow you to teach as a teacher in a child development setting. If you're interested in getting additional certificates and continuing your education, once you have the core certificate, you can branch off to take more classes to then be eligible for additional certificates. So these certificates on the right, infant and toddler, you would get that once you complete the four core on the left, plus 6 units related to infant and toddlers. And then another example is if you complete the four core on the left and take 6 units related to school age children, you qualify for the school age certificate. And you can go down the line with each certificate, and that same formula generally applies. So for more information, please speak with a child development advisor. Again, you can email them at cdev@ccsf.edu, and they'll walk you through the process and let you know what certificates you qualify for and what classes you need to take to earn each certificate you're interested in. Okay, so let's move on to permits. So permits are issued by the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing and allow you to teach at various levels within an organization. And if you're interested in teaching at an organization that receives state or federal funds, you are required to have a permit. So the different permits you can get are listed here on the right. So the Child Development Assistant permit, this permit is generally optional because you only need 6 units for that, but most employers aren't looking for that. Most employers are looking for at least the second one listed, the Child Development Associate Teacher permit. And the 4 core courses that we talked about on the previous screen make you eligible for this Child Development Associate Teacher permit. So in addition to getting the ECE Associate Teacher Certificate with City College, you can apply for the Child Development Associate Teacher permit with the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing, which will allow you to be eligible to teach in a state or federally funded organization. And many child development centers in the city and county of San Francisco receive state and federal funds. So at some point, most of you will have to apply for one of these permits. Okay, and then additional permits that you want to earn. So if you want to go on to get a teacher permit, a master teacher permit, a site supervisor permit, or a program director permit, you have to continue to take classes and earn more hours of work experience, supervised hours. And then you can continue to apply for additional permits as you elevate in your child development career. So again, I just want to note that you can speak with a child development advisor about this. They are there to help you apply for these permits and walk you through the process of making sure you meet all requirements so that you get that permit pretty seamlessly. Okay, so let's move on to the last one in this group, which is credentials. And this is something you don't have to worry about right now, but I do want to mention to you because some of you are considering a career in pre-K through 12 public school education. And to be eligible to teach in a public school setting, you have to have a California credential. So I just wanted to go over the different kinds of credentials you can earn. There's single subject, which allows you to teach a single subject in generally middle school and high school because they have the format where they have one teacher for each area of specialization. So, for example, you can earn a math credential or a science credential or an art credential, and you would specialize in that area and teach that to different classrooms throughout the day versus a multiple subject credential, which is something that allows you to teach in a self-contained classroom, generally in the pre-K through 5 or 6 grades, where students are in one classroom all day with one teacher. So you would be teaching multiple subjects like math and history and science and so forth. There's also the special education credential, which allows you to work with students with special needs. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few slides. There's also speech services, there's pupil personnel services, and those are your social workers, your counselors, your school psychologists. And then there's career technical education. And career technical education allows you to teach a particular trade to students. So, for example, John O'Connell High School has a construction based program where teachers come in and teach the students trade skills so that they're eligible for an apprenticeship upon graduation so they can get straight into the work field because not everyone wants to go to college. So there's multiple options for you depending on what your interest is. And for more information, you can reach out to me about this. Many of you are still working towards your associates, but for those of you that might have your bachelor's degree already and are interested in earning a credential, let me know and I can help you figure out your next steps in that process. Okay, so let's move on to employment opportunities. These four that I have listed here are all opportunities that you can start now while you're in school. They're all made to be flexible to accommodate your school schedule, and they all require 3 to 6 ECE units. So for those of you who are just starting out and don't have your certificate or permit yet, that's totally fine. There's a whole bunch of options for you. And I'm just going to go over 4 main ones that I included, but for a full list of opportunities, please reach out to me because we have a ton of partnerships and there are multiple opportunities available to you depending on your need, your schedule, how much money you'd like to earn, and so forth. So let's start with CCSF. Many students choose this option because it's easy for them to have a class and then go work at school so they're not traveling to multiple places throughout the day. Student worker jobs pay $15.59 an hour at this time. So it's a good wage for you to be on campus and earn the experience in a supportive environment where you know you're going to receive the mentoring that you need. And what you can do is log into your Web4 student account, and I'll include the link to that as well in the comment section below. You can go to the employment section and select the term. So you can see I have an example here of fall 2019, but if you're applying for fall 2020 or so forth, you would select those semesters, and then you complete the SHEP process. So SHEP is student employment. And what that will look like is you completing some related forms, so sexual harassment policy, employment history. You'll have to get your payroll forms together to get direct deposit. You will have to get a negative TB test and provide that. And once you complete all of those steps, then you can start applying for jobs. So there's this whole process can take anywhere from 1 to 3 or 4 weeks. It depends how fast you get your TB test and your payroll forms, but it can happen pretty quickly. So if you have questions about this and need help getting walked through the process, I'm happy to support you with that. So reach out to me if you're interested. Let's move on to another option, which is with SFUSD. And this is for an avid tutor position. And avid tutors work with avid teachers to support middle school and high school students, generally giving them guidance through study group sessions, serving as a positive role model, and helping to prepare them to succeed at the college level. So, this is a great role for someone who is just starting out because the only requirement is being enrolled at least part-time in college. So you don't actually need CDEV units for this. And the pay is relatively good. So year one, it's 16 an hour. And you can see if you stay on all the way through year three, that goes up to 20 an hour. And this is part-time and flexible. So great opportunity for those of you that want to use your lived experience and share some of your knowledge of being a college student yourself with students who are considering higher education. Okay, so another really great opportunity is with STEP, which is the Substitute Teacher Empowerment and Placement Program. And STEP is through Kai Ming Head Start, which is a nonprofit program that provides affordable staffing for childcare. So I really like Kai Ming because they offer a lot of benefits, as you can see below. They have great pay, they have paid training, flexible schedules, there's multiple locations throughout the city of San Francisco, and they really invest in your success with their organization. They want you to grow with them. So the requirements for STEP is 3 to 6 early education units and just a general interest in working with children ages 0 to 5. So this is a great opportunity for someone who's in school, who has some extra time, who prefers something flexible. So maybe you have classes on Tuesday and Thursday, and you can only work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is the kind of job that will allow you to create your own schedule and is super flexible with you, understands you're in school, and will promote education and support it through different paid trainings. Some positions with Kai Ming even offer paid release time for school. So it's a great organization to work with. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So the last one I wanted to mention is Bright Horizons. And Bright Horizons is a great opportunity. They're a child care provider with centers on site of the working locations. So for example, at UCSF, at PG&E and Salesforce. And this offers the working adults access to affordable childcare at the site of their work location. So it's a cool concept to have parents close by to be able to come and have lunch with their children or stop by and see what their children are doing throughout the day. Bright Horizons is a play-based child development class section, and they do multiple things. So for example, one presenter was talking about them learning about the ocean until they were tired of it, and then they moved on to another subject. So it's less structured and a smaller ratio, so about like one teacher to 4 students. And one great thing that they offer is a free bachelor's degree program in early childhood education or child development. And this includes fees and books. Upon completion, if you choose to do this, you will have to commit to 18 months working with Bright Horizons. But if you think about the trade-off, about how much money you'll be saving by them paying for your degree, it's a really great opportunity, and you pretty much have a guaranteed job upon graduation. So consider this if you're interested in earning your bachelor's degree. If you want more information, I can connect you with the recruiter for Bright Horizons, and she can provide more information on how to get set up with that if that's something that you're ready for at this point. Wages with Bright Horizons, they vary based on your education and experience, but the pay is definitely fair. So consider Bright Horizons if you're interested in working in a smaller environment and if you're looking to get your degree anytime soon. Okay, so let's move on to special education. And I wanted to touch on special education because it's a really important part of working in any educational setting. It's a form of learning provided to students with exceptional needs, for example, students with learning disabilities or particular mental health experiences. And some of the different things that you would do in special education versus general education is that you would collaborate a lot with the general education teachers. You would utilize push in and pull out supports to help students. And that means push in means you going into classrooms and working with them in there. Pull out means you would take the student and work with them a little bit more one on one. And then you would also try to stay current with special education best practices because they do change depending on new codes and other compliances that you have to, abide by. And one big part of special education is an individualized education plan. You'll hear IEP all the time in special education, and this is a plan that's made for each specific student based on their need. And when you're in special education, you help create that plan, you help implement that plan, and you help document the success of that plan. And you're communicating with multiple stakeholders to make sure that that student's needs are being met and that that plan is accurate based on the student need. So I wanted to just get into two options that are available within special education. SFUSD has the para-educator role, and you can see there's kind of a split screen here. They're pretty much the same thing, but the only difference is that on the left, you can see here, this is based on K-12 grades, and on the right is more geared towards pre-K. So if you look down at salary, you can see the most significant difference in these two is the salary. SPED paraeducators for K-12 earn $23.66 an hour to start, and EED paraeducators earn $18.82 an hour to start. And that's because some of the roles and responsibilities of working in the K-12 setting are a little bit higher than those working with the pre-K setting. So you can see, for example, in K-12, you're working one-on-one and in small groups with students to support them with a variety of social, emotional, physical abilities, and medically fragile students. Roles and responsibilities with pre-K are more geared towards after-school programs and play. So some of the duties look different. The requirements are also different. So for K-12, you have to meet that through a high school diploma and instructional aid exam, or 48 college units, or an AA degree, or the CBEST test. And for pre-K, it's a high school diploma and completion of 6 semester units of early childhood education. So many of you will qualify for the EED paraeducator role based on your high school diploma and 6 units of ECE. Some of you will also qualify for the K-12 paraeducator role because even if you don't have 48 units yet, or an AA degree, or have passed CBEST, you can have your high school diploma plus your district instructional aid exam. And the district instructional aid exam is given every Friday at the district. So if you're interested in this and you want more information about how to qualify, please contact me and I can walk you through that process. Okay, so we'll go on to ABA, which is another option in special education. We have several partners who do ABA, and I've listed 3 of them on the left. So Gateway, Center for Social Dynamics, and Easter Seals Bay Area. And ABA is good for people who are interested in special education but want to work more in an individualized one-on-one setting. For ABA positions, you're traveling to the client's location, which is usually their home, and you're working with the individual child and the family to come up with an individualized plan based on that child's particular behavior or social or educational needs. So it varies from child to child, and you'll work individually with each person to come up with that particular plan. You'll also work on collecting data and provide one-on-one play-based instructions to clients using the particular techniques that you learn from the field of ABA. So some of the different benefits of working for these organizations, you can see that some of them help you with your RBT or ABA certification. And the RBT means Registered Behavior Technician. ABA means Applied Behavior Analyst. So each one of those they're kind of the same thing, and they allow you to work with these populations. Once you become registered, more opportunities open up to you. But these are good starting roles if you're interested in special education. So again, if you have questions about applying to any of these, please reach out to me directly and I can assist you with that. Okay, so let's go to the last bullet, which is labor market data and career projections. I like giving this information to students. You don't have to think about it right now, but it is good to know and start thinking about what you want in your future, because your pay and your different options available to you will depend on how much education you get. So you can see here in the chart that working in preschool and childcare, the median annual wage is about $40,000. Then you can see when you go to primary, which is elementary, and secondary, which is generally high school, the pay increases by about $30,000 a year. So you can see that the level at which you decide to teach impacts your pay dramatically. And in order to get advanced degrees, we have a very strong partnership with San Francisco State University. They offer their child and adolescent development, or CAD degree, and you can concentrate in 3 different areas. So early childhood, school age, child and family, and youth work and out of school time. And they also offer credential programs. So you can get your credential only, which is a 1-year program, or credential plus masters, which is a 2-year program. And you earn your credentials post bachelor's. So you would have to complete your bachelor's degree first and then go on to earn your credential afterward. So anywhere, this process could take anywhere from maybe a few years, but if you do decide to invest in your bachelor's and credentials, you can see, as illustrated in the chart, that your income will significantly increase. So this does depend on what age you want to work with. So many of you want to work with preschool age children and in childcare, and that's great because we definitely need teachers at that level. But for those of you that are interested in primary and secondary school, if you have more questions about the bachelor's program or credentials program, please reach out to me. There are also programs within the public school district that are available to you. For example, the Para to Teacher program, Pathway to Teaching program. There's also partnerships, for example, SFTR. So for more information about those, please reach out to me and I can help guide you through that process. Okay, so that's it. If you have any questions about anything, my contact information is here on the bottom left. Again, bnunez@ccsf.edu, and you can call me and leave me a voicemail at 415-239-3922. Thank you. Take care.